Well, this leads into my next question. I know when I was here several weeks ago, the property position was about 22 square miles. Now you're up to 25 square miles. Well, that's a nice piece of land. And one of the things that I noticed when I was out there with you is basically the arsenic anomaly covers the entire property. What is the nature of the mineralizing event, the system that causes these elements and gold to be deposited here?
Right.
Not to ask a simple question.
Yeah, right. That's, I could go on and on a long time about that, but the essence of it is that these are, I use the word hydrothermal, that's hot, and water. Well, hydro meaning water and thermal hot, and these are big. This system is particularly big. We actually don't necessarily see the limits to this system. The limits, at least in part to this system, may be where it goes underneath post-mineral rock, where we just simply can't see it anymore, but it still could be there. But we have an area, almost the entire size of the railroad property position of, say, 20, almost 25 of those square miles where we have. This is arsenic in soils. And arsenic is a really, really important element. If we didn't have arsenic, the gold would not be here if it wasn't for the arsenic.
Pathfinder element.
Very high levels into many areas in the thousands of ppm range, which is very high, and spread out all over the place. It's probably the best indicator of being in potentially the right place to be looking for gold. Arsenic serves actually to help nucleate or deposit gold, in that there's a chemical or electrical attraction, and it's that these systems develop or involve pyridization initially, or sulfidation, and then arsenification, which is the pyrites are rimmed by arsenic, and then gold particularly likes that depositional site. So the presumption is the later solutions, and we believe that they mostly are later, that were gold bearing, passed through these same areas where the arsenic was and deposited in form of gold deposits up to, well, some places millions of ounces of gold. Certainly the Carlin Trend is very noted for its endowment of gold. There is easily 150 million ounces known, and probably in known deposit form, and my belief is that number is half or a third of what ultimately could be mined on the Carlin Trend, and of course we are very much on the Carlin Trend in every sense, and in a very good sense.
Does the size of a geochemical signature say anything about the robustness of the mineralizing system?
Well, again, I would say, yeah, on the basis of my experience, the short answer is yes. I've spent a lot of time in Nevada, and I've looked at probably every major metal system in Nevada and all the ingredients associated with those systems. They all have common denominators of various sorts, and the one thing I always look for is size. And it does seem to me that the more extensive, and that would be the larger the size, and you could probably extrapolate that to say the larger the volume of the rocks that have been affected in the form of alteration and or perspective for gold mineralization, the larger that system or expression of that, the larger the deposits. Often the deposits tend to be larger, and there's more of them. That's the way I should have put it. They cluster. The bigger the system, the more of a larger cluster in both numbers and size of deposits. We're looking at railroad, and that's one of our daunting tasks right now, is understanding what it is we have and dealing with this such a large volume of altered rock over exposures over the entire property position, essentially.
Well, I think that's a good trait that the railroad district has, is the size of this geochemical signature.
I couldn't agree more.
This is Jim Richmond. I'm a shareholder of Gold Standard Ventures, and I've been to the Railroad District properties for love of the game.